my channel. So today we're going to make a piece I saw on the channel of AB Creative. I'll just show you up on here. This is our inspiration for today, and we'll be using a drawing of my horse. As a base we're going to be using a canvas board. So this is a 25 by 25 centimeter board. We are also going to be using some air dry clay. This is just a cheap one I got, and some other things, but I'll show you when we're ready to use it. So first we're going to prepare our clay. So I just took a clump of the clay, and this is a lot softer than the one I used before, and this is the white one, and also the structure is a lot smoother than the gray one I used before. So let's smooth this out and make a flat piece of about, let me see, so it's something like 20-ish centimeters. So let's just start rolling. So I think I got it in the right shape. I should have just gotten more clay, but let's just try and transfer the design to the clay. I used a soft pencil to mark it on the backside as well, and from what I saw it should be able to transfer. I'm just going to lay it down like so. I'm just going to gently push it on the clay. And let's see if the graphite that is on the other side transferred to the clay. I think it's good enough. So let's just follow these lines. They're a little bit hard to see on camera, but they're really there. So you can see the graphite transferred to the clay. It's not very clear, but I can see it. I'm just going to gently try and cut it out. And I don't want to damage my silicone mat, so I'm going to be using a clay tool, and hopefully that's going to work. So I ran the sharp thing all around. It's not the best work, but we're going to be fixing it once we cut it out. I will just go and remove all the excess, and then I'm probably just going to use a brush and some water to just clean up the edges and any mistakes I made. And then I'm going to let it dry overnight. Hopefully it will be dry tomorrow. And in the meantime we can start working on our base. So I've just got some silicone clay tools and a little bit of water. I'm just going to use it to smooth it out on the edges. You can also just use a finger and go over it, just like so. So you don't need to have expensive tools. Your fingers will work just fine. So it's time to prepare the canvas, and I'm just going to use my template with, again, the graphite on the back, and I'm going to place it on here. I think that will do. And I'm just going to transfer the design. So just rub, rub, rub. And there you go. So now I'm going to use my texture paste, and it's just latex paint.
It smells like a party balloon!
With sand and a little bit of cornstarch. Fused it on several pieces. So let's just add it to the board. Sorry for the sound. And as you can see, it gives a really nice texture. So I'll just cover the whole outside of this area. What I prefer is to keep the texture in the same orientation. So if I choose to go up and down, I'm going to go up and down for the whole piece. If I go side to side, I will do that for the whole piece. But for this one, I'm just going to go from the top to the bottom. So my texture paste is dry. My clay is almost dry as well. Unfortunately, this clay isn't the best quality, so it broke. But I don't want to wait for it to completely dry and break anymore, so I'm just going to add it to the canvas. And I'm going to be using my PVA glue and leaving it to dry for till tomorrow, I guess. I'm just going to use an old brush and just put it on, and hopefully this will make sure that everything stays together while it dries for the full amount. So let's put the horse on first, And it is, like, as you can see, it's not that thick. I also did end up changing it a little bit because I really didn't like how it looked on the hind legs. So let's add the tail, see if it still wants to fit. So I'm just going to put a little bit more glue on the sides and probably add a little bit of the texture paste in the areas I don't have any. And then I'll let it dry and I'll see you then. So everything is nice and dry. My horse is stuck down and it did crack just a little bit with the tail, but it's okay. We can just fill it up with some paint. I've got this nice unbleached titanium. I got some leftovers from another project. So let's paint this all in one color. And that's our base done, and I've got some other colors I like. And it's a grayish blue. I've got some grayish purple. I also have a kind of orangey color. I think I'm going to just apply a little bit on here. I'm not sure what I want. So let's just try and get a little bit more color in here. So I'm just going to add a little bit, just a touch. I don't think you can see it that well. Let me turn off one of the lights. Let's see if you can see it that way. A little bit. It's really, really subtle. That's what I'm looking for. I don't want it a lot. I really want a little bit. So let's do some here. Maybe just a tiny bit more. And maybe a little bit in this area. You can always go over it with some of that unbleached titanium again. So I'm liking the blue. Let's add some of the purple. So I'm almost like dry brushing it. So the purple is a little bit bolder and they will dry a little bit darker. I'm taking a tiny amount. Maybe I want to do just a tiny bit on the horse. Something like that. So that's the purple. And I think I want to try and do some decorations with this orangey color. So what I'm going to do is put a little bit in this tray and use the sponge and use this tool to get some texture. I also have this mesh, but I think it's going to be too thin. But I want to try several different things. So let's try and put a little bit of this color on here. Put some on the sponge. Let's just put some here. Really don't think it's showing up much, so maybe try it with a brush. This is really light. I'm showing you, oh, I'm painting this, I'm painting that, and you cannot see anything I'm doing. I'll put some here. Maybe a tiny bit in the corner. And some on the bottom. Let's go for this. So let's try a little bit of a bolder color. So I've got this purple. Hopefully this one will show up a little bit better. And let's try with the mesh. Put it on here. Get a little bit of the sponge. And so I think this is too thin to get the effect we're looking for. So let me see if I can get a different kind of stencil. So I used a piece of plastic and I cut out these shapes to make a stencil. So hopefully that will work. And I wanted to try this bluish green iridescent by Pebeo. It's a very bold color, so hopefully it's not going to be too much. So let's just go for it. No, it's not perfect. Let's see. Let's try it with the sponge. Okay, let's see if that's going to work a little bit better. Okay, so I got a big blob there. So I'll just go and add some more color and then I'll show you the final result. So I ended up using these two colors to finish off my piece. So that's 24 karat gold by Deco Art and turquoise by Lucas Studio. And I just used my sponge to rub it all over. So here's the final reveal. I really love how it looks. I did end up just adding a lot more color to it, but removing a lot of the pinks and purples, I just didn't feel right. This is giving me a little bit more of that tarnished copper feel. I would really like to know what you think of it and if you're going to give it a try. So thank you for watching and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye everyone!